Enterprise Management 360.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Tech Chat. Thank you so much for joining us. Today I'm going to be speaking with Prakash Darji, who is the General Manager of FlashArray Business Unit at Pure Storage. Today we're going to be talking all things the modern data experience. So let's go ahead and find out his thoughts on the matter. So Prakash, there's been a lot of talk recently about how data can catapult the business performance. So can you tell us a little bit more about the value of data?
Well, if you think about where the economy's and problem solving is going today, people need data to make decisions. But eventually, what if people didn't have to be involved? Because you take a look at autonomous cars, or you take a look at a lot of things that just happen around you. The data that we collect allow us to make the world more efficient. And right now, a lot of those decisions are in the hands of people. So humans look at data, they make decisions based on data. That's how, companies roll up financial statements. That's how the world works today. But we do believe that there is going to be a future where data is just going to be part of everything that makes the world go round. And the problem with that, to get from now to then, is that the data generally is difficult to get to because data has gravity. You have a SaaS application today. Maybe you use it for an HR system. That SaaS application has its own data. Then you have a financial system. That application has its own data. But, when you hire people, they cost money. So the HR and the finance data needs to work together. And a lot of these silos are what most companies struggle with today. We know that data is necessary. We know that data is needed to cross boundaries. It's the world without data. So how do people leverage it? How can you bring it all together? I think these are the challenges of today's world. But the value in terms of the data experience, getting data in one place to be able to make decisions and drive kind of the autonomous economy is, I think, the current challenge of today.
So in light of all of this, a lot of companies will want to make sure that they're using their data wisely and getting the most value out of it as possible. So how do companies go about building their data strategy?
Well, I think the first macro trend that everyone's concerned about in the data economy is security. Because you're always wondering, if I collect this information, am I going to be compliant? How long can I store it? Is it going to be invading on people's rights? We all know in the social media era, there were a lot of things happening geopolitically where data was being hijacked and being used for nefarious purposes. So I think from a corporate social responsibility standpoint, anyone who collects and stores data needs to understand how to secure it and what it should be used for. But then the next challenge becomes, once you overcome the security challenges, how do you ensure that you can manage data as if it was one common asset? Meaning, today there's structured data. People historically have used block storage for that. There's file data, there's object data for unstructured. A lot of the new data that's coming out and being collected from either IoT devices or from machinery or sensors or logs are more unstructured. And then you compound cloud on top of it because cloud systems and SaaS applications have their own data sets as well. And then everyone's trying to figure out should I bring the SaaS data on-premise? Should I send the on-premises data to the cloud? What's my cloud strategy? All of these things are the complexities that every enterprise has to deal with around data management today. Modern data experience that allows you to deal with the hybrid cloud era of data on-premise and data in the cloud, of a multi-cloud era where you're dealing with multiple different cloud providers, and multiple protocols, whether it's block data, file data, object data. So it doesn't matter if your data is structured or unstructured. You have the ability to look at it, manage it, operate it, work with it as if it was one thing. The modern data experience approach allows you to use one solution and one management plane, one set of operating principles for all of your data. Bringing it back to the security challenge, if you have one consistent way of looking at your data, you can apply policies consistently.
Okay, fantastic. And what does this modern data experience mean for company cultures?
The workforce today spends, I would say, 60 to 70% of their time doing things that are repeatable tasks. If something's a repeatable task, it can be automated. no one wants to deal with the same chores. Even if you think about it, who likes doing dishes? You got to do them every day, but it's not something everyone enjoys. And the world's moving to a place where a lot of the things that can be automated will be automated because we will overcome some of these data silos. We'll overcome all of these data challenges, and largely Pure's on a journey to help companies do that. So I just play out, Pure's been in business about 10 years. We've modernized data infrastructure. Now we're going to modernize the data experience. So the next 10 years is about this modern data experience that says, how do you get to a world where you can just use all the data and the world can become more automated? And you fast forward 10 years and you think about the workplace, we will have been past precedent in terms of the legal challenges, in terms of the security policies. There will become new cultural norms of data. Yeah. And once those norms exist, what are the new norms that people have to deal with? No, the question is, okay, systems and things will be automated and it will make decisions for you. What if you don't like those decisions? Right? That's kind of the interesting future of the workplace, where you say, how does the data-driven decisions get overturned by human behavior such that decisions learn and adapt? Yeah. And I know everyone talks about AI being this big thing, but the modern data experience is one that says I can enable data such that decisions can be automated, and then we can learn and calibrate whether those decisions were effective or not. Now, the other piece that becomes really interesting around this future is, can this future really happen based on the economics of data? Because if you think about the economics of data, fast data is expensive, storing data is cheap.
Yeah.
But if you want to use that data, you need it to be fast, which is expensive again. Right? So we run into this world of like, can everything be tier 1 and performant, or can some things be cheaper? Right? And how do you deal with the economics to actually bring that 10 years into 5 years? Right? We're trying to shorten the time to get to modern data experience. Well, Pure's now on a journey that says, you know what? We started the first 10 years of our company to be the answer for offering the simplest way to get performant data. But not all data, because not everyone could afford to put all of their data on something that was expensive and performant. And Pure has generally solved that problem well now and brought the economies down such that it's more affordable today than it was 10 years ago for performant-oriented data. And now we're extending that same concept to capacity, where we're going to make it easier to access data at a cheaper rate that's larger capacities. The world used to operate in megabytes and then gigabytes and then terabytes and now petabytes and eventually exabytes. As you collect more information, you need to balance the cost economies of scale. And the modern data experience, will bring together the cost economies of scale. We'll bring that together across on-premise and cloud. We'll bring that together across different structured and unstructured data types, and bring it all together in a secured way. That's really the vision that will enable more of an autonomous economy in the future.
Well, it sounds like we're in store for some really exciting times ahead. So thank you so much for sharing your insights with us. It's been really interesting.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Tech Chat, and thank you once again to Prakash for that insightful discussion. In the meantime, if you're interested in generating leads for your business, then head on over to our Tell Us Your Audience page, where we can distribute your content across North America, APAC, and Europe, delivering SQLs and MQLs right back to you. In the meantime, please make sure to follow us on Twitter or LinkedIn, or head on over to our website, em360tech.com, for more great content.